What's up, everybody? It's your boy Stephen A. Smith. There are special moments in my career. Many people that I've interviewed throughout the years. This definitely is a big one. It's right up there, probably the top of the list. My guest is a Golden Globe award-winning actor known for roles in the classic films Platoon and Wall Street, of course, and the Emmy award-winning CBS hit comedy show Two and a Half Men. His new book is called The Book of Sheen. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show the one and only Charlie Sheen. What's going on, man? How you doing?
Everything's going on. Thank you for that intro.
Please,
That was awesome.
It's well deserved. Well deserved. First things first. How are you? How is life? How would you describe your life right now?
I'm good.
Okay.
Life is amazing.
Mm.
Sorry. What's going on was the middle question. Yeah.
Right.
Everything right now is going on.
That's right.
And no, it's an exciting time.
Mm.
It's an exciting time right now.
What's excited about it for Charlie Sheen? I mean, when Charlie Sheen says the word excitement, considering the life that you have lived, it's hard to imagine too many things being that exciting. But you're saying this is exciting. What's standing out for it with you right now?
Oh gosh, just being back in the mix
Mm.
and being celebrated for checking two boxes, delivering a couple things I'd never attempted before,
Mm.
never done a documentary, never written a book, and to have them both happen at the same time has just created this tsunami of awesomeness.
Now I know editor Simon Schuster. Her name is Amy Bell.
Amy Bell.
She's absolutely spectacular.
The one and only.
She could convince a lot of people to do a lot of things.
Right.
But aside from her,
Right.
okay,
Yes.
what convinced you to write this book?
It's just I knew in my gut that enough time had gone by, that I had enough distance
Mm.
between a lot of stuff that went sideways, and created quite the spectacle at times.
Mhm.
And I felt like that I had the right perspective, and as I said, distance
Mm.
from all of that wreckage and carnage and all of the media hysteria, and just tell the stories in a way that they'd never been heard,
Mm.
and because they'd never come from me, and it wasn't really about setting the record straight.
Mm.
It was just about just delivering what my actual role was in a variety of scenarios.
Mm. And you say your actual role was in a variety of scenarios. It's hard to imagine just thinking back to all the success you had. You were once the highest paid actor in Hollywood. I remember reading up about that. Certainly, Two and a Half Men is a show that's watched to this very day. I watch it all the time, and I appreciate and
It's
love
amazing.
and respect the people on the show. But damn it, Charlie, I only watch the ones with you on it.
Thank
That's
you.
what I do.
That's
To this
amazing.
very day. To this very day. To this very day.
Thank you.
So when we think about Two and a Half Men, most people think instead of the greatness of the show,
Right.
instead they think about how it ended.
Yeah.
How did it end?
Miserably.
Mm.
Unfortunately. Yeah, it was not. It was not the bookend I had envisioned with how the show started and the run that it had. I just wasn't able, for a variety of reasons, to keep my personal life from contaminating parts of it. And it's interesting because the whole narrative about what went wrong on that show, the story everybody latched onto was the feud between Chuck Lorre and myself, and that had very little to do with it. It really didn't.
Then what was the reason for it? If it wasn't for him and the relationship with Chuck Lorre that ultimately disintegrated in some people's eyes anyway, then what was it? Because I got to tell you, watching the show on TV, We didn't see any evidence of that.
Right,
I mean,
right,
so
right.
obviously this is stuff that was going on behind the scenes because the product that was put on the air,
Right.
it as far as I'm concerned, it never dissipated.
Wow. Thank you.
Never did.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I had had 4 children during those 8 years. Went through 2 really messy divorces. Was in and out of rehab a couple times. Was just I had also I had lost the passion for the show, and it got to that place where it felt I couldn't find anything fresh about the experience anymore.
It felt like work.
It felt like work, and it felt like the same 4 people in the same 5 rooms telling the same 6 jokes. But the other side of that is that's what I signed up for. That's what I gave them my word that I would commit to and complete and just give it my all.
But did it feel like that, Charlie? Because you're going to work every day, the mundaneness of everything just kicks in. It becomes a bit rudimentary, a bit ordinary, and it just gets bored. Or did it get that way because when you left work, you were living such an exciting damn life that anything other than that felt just ordinary and boring?
I mean, you make a great point.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yes. There was an imbalance, as it were. But I was actually, during that show, I wasn't showing up to work, hammered or doing any dope on set. But it was certainly, on several occasions going on behind the scenes. But yeah, it's hard to get excited about, fake stuff that might have been sexy or romantic that was like very real 4 hours earlier.
Very real. Give those details, sir. I'd like to know. I'm just curious. I just want to know when you say it was very real 4 hours earlier. What specifically are you talking about, Charlie Sheen? I want to know.
Well, when I talk about the romantic essence of, because Charlie Harper has a lot of girlfriends.
That's right.
On that show, and when I wasn't in either of those marriages, Charlie Sheen had a lot of girlfriends. Not on that show.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I understand that.
You see what I'm saying?
It was a lot of women. There's a lot of women there. Now on the show, we've seen that you obviously, you would pursue women. You were relatively promiscuous to say the least, but we just saw a couple. We saw 2, 3, whatever. I imagine it was significantly more than that off the show.
I mean, I as one would expect, I hope, right?
Right.
Just 2 guys talking here, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how wild was it, Charlie? I mean, people are gonna watch. They're gonna see AKA Charlie Sheen now streaming on Netflix. Obviously, they're gonna read this book, but for the purposes of us sitting here and talking about it, really, really explain to the viewers out there. I mean, how wild was it on a given day before you went to work and after you departed from work? Paint a picture of what a day in the life of Charlie Sheen was at that particular moment in time.
Yeah, it was a lot more wild after I was fired. But during, I mean, it wasn't. When I was on the show, I wasn't living yet with porn stars. When I got kicked off the show, that's when a few of them, moved in.
A few porn stars moved in.
Yes.
Let me ask you this
because you're asking about like what level of wild are we talking
That's
about?
right. That's it.
And so I think that kind of,
you know what bugs me out though? Why live with a porn star?
Well,
What I mean by that is that they're porn stars.
Right.
You can go out and get other porn stars.
Right.
Why live with them? Why all of a sudden almost like be in a committed situation with a porn star?
Right. I mean, I wasn't talking about like those types of commitments necessarily.
Right.
And I use the term live just as a general
Right,
expression
right.
that when someone spends that much time
Mhm.
at your place, it kind of feels like
Right.
they're living there. But I wasn't like giving up closet space,
Understood.
Yeah.
Understood. Understood. I want to know when you departed from Two and a Half Men, and like you said, it got a bit wilder for you thereafter. Were you happy once you got off the show? Were you happy, even though you were living that way? Sometimes that can disguise
Sure.
or offset the misery. What was your mindset like at that particular moment in time once you departed from the hit show in America?
That's a great question. Yeah, I would not describe it as happy.
Mm,
There was still just a lot of misdirected resentment. Um, that was underpinned with feelings of failure.
mhm,
That this incredible opportunity was tailor made for me,
mhm,
and just for some myriad reasons couldn't keep it together
mhm.
to personally to keep that together. So no, that's interesting and really smart that you point that out. That yeah, a lot of that stuff is about quieting some of those voices, about just kind of quelling that anger, that frustration. It was more frustration that
Frustration with what?
I didn't honor my word,
Mm.
you know, because when you agree to that,
Yeah.
it's long term.
So you didn't honor your word. Honor your word to who?
To Warner Brothers, to CBS, to Chuck, to my co-stars, to my family, to
Right.
you know, yeah, and that's a hard thing to live with.
What hit you harder? CBS, Warner Brothers, the Two and a Half Men family, or your family?
Number four,
Mm.
yeah, four,
Specifically, the wife, the kids,
yeah,
dad,
yeah,
who?
yeah. My children,
Mm.
because it's like I'm the guy everybody's relying on,
Mhm.
you know, my day job, I wasn't being asked to like, I don't know, walk on the moon,
Mhm.
work on a submarine, like like really
Right.
difficult stuff.
A lot of people in your position would have said, "You know something? This isn't working. This is not good." But in the same breath, highest paid guy, shows a hit. I've made more than enough money. It ain't like people got to worry about being on the streets. So I don't really have much to feel guilty about because in terms of providing, protecting, etc., I'm still capable of doing that. So
Right.
there's really not a reason for me to feel that guilty because they're going to be fine. You're saying that's not necessarily how you were feeling.
No, not at all.
No.
And there was that point in time. I think it would have been in '09,
Mhm.
somewhere in '09, maybe early 2010, when I was in a brief stint in rehab, and they were negotiating for seasons 8 and 9.
Yes.
I'd done 7.
Mhm.
And I remember this phone call with my manager, with Mark Berg, and I said, Mark, and I think this is in the doc. It might be in the book, but I just said I don't think that I think my work there is done.
Mm.
I think I've left something really memorable behind. Something I'm really proud of, and I just feel like going back. It just things could very possibly go horribly wrong,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
that was my gut, which I'm sure you can relate.
Yes.
That's like that's the place where we've lived
Yeah.
and trusted most of our lives,
Right.
right?
Is-
And that's what my gut was screaming,
But you
and
went back anyway.
I went against it, went back anyway, and that's when things, uh, as Dad describes, Kurtz and Apocalypse. That's when things started to slip.
When did drugs become a part of the equation in terms of affecting you with the level of negativity? Dare I say the promiscuity may have affected you?
Um, You mean in like within that
Yes.
time?
Within that time period.
Got it.
Yes.
Got it. Got it. I would say 2011, 20, yeah,
Right.
2010, 2011.
Right before the show's cancellation. You went to
Yes.
season, not cancellation, but when you came off the show after season 8. Yeah.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So what was going on with you then? What were the kind of drugs you were using? What were you going through at that particular moment in time? As you, I mean, in terms of your drug use and the effect that that had on you compared to what the other things, how the other things were affecting you.
Got it. Got it. Yeah. No. Yeah. No. It was. I had a pretty simple combo platter. It was just tons of booze and a lot of crack.
Right.
You know, and
Crack cocaine. You know, when I read about, let me tell you that because you have a right to hear this from a perspective of mine, you know, compared to a lot of other people that might interview you. I'm from the streets of New York City, and one of the things that Black folks mention a lot of times, what we lament about is the fact that you've got so many people that have been incarcerated, particularly when it came to drug dealing because of crack cocaine, and how that was more punitive. It was more punishable, it appeared, than cocaine itself, as opposed to crack cocaine. So when
Right.
we hear about white guys and crack cocaine, it was like, you know, back in the day, we used to be thinking about heroin, cocaine, and we just live it like that. But the crack was when we thought about the African American community a lot more often than not when it came to that. How does Charlie Sheen all of a sudden start taking crack? How does that happen?
It was it was a physiological event. My nose stopped working.
Mm.
You know, it just I was shooting a film and I can't remember the year, but I wound up with this terrible like 34-hour nosebleed that I couldn't stop. I had to go to the doctor. You know what they give you for a cocaine nosebleed
No.
to stop it?
No.
Cocaine. I'm not kidding. Yeah.
Wow.
And I only know that because I found out in person. So yeah, so they pack these. I think they're called rhino rods, if that's even a thing.
Wow.
Somebody in the booth can look that up.
Yes, please do. Please
and
do.
they plug it and they liquid cocaine. Anyway, so I decided that that wasn't enough to stop that drug getting into my bloodstream and brain.
Right.
And just decided that okay, I need a new delivery system. And that's when it turned into the smokable variety. You know.
And how did that delivery system work? I mean, did you have somebody that you do? Did you have somebody that went and got it for you? Did you go out and get it yourself? I mean, you're Charlie Sheen.
I was
How'd
never.
that
I
happen?
was never the guy that went out into the streets
Right.
looking for it. Yeah,
Right.
because I'd seen too many people that did
Right.
that, and we watched the results of that on the news at home.
There we
right?
go.
Yeah, there was this dude that used to drop off the coke a long time ago, and he would give me my normal powdered version, and then he'd always go into the bathroom, right? And then there was a smell I didn't recognize, and there was like this whole ritual, and he would come out like he was on one,
Right.
but on a good one. And I'm like, what's going on in there? What am I missing? And he said, "Oh, Mr. Sheen, you don't ever want to mess around with this stuff." And so when I
That's the worst thing he could have told you because that made you want it more.
and that was on a loop. That was on a loop. His voice from that moment in my mind, saying those words every time I went to the pipe. So yeah, it had been sort of. I don't know if it's fair to say accidentally introduced to me,
Right.
or just I was crack adjacent long enough to finally say, let's see what that move's all about.
So for those who don't know and can't comprehend, like me, because I've never done crack cocaine, that's just not how I flow, okay? What did it do for you? How would you describe how it made you feel and what it did for you, and what level of influence did it provide towards you doing all the other things that
Sure.
you did?
Yeah, no, it was a springboard. It was I guess it was the missing fuel from my stage 2 boosters. Not an astronaut, clearly you got that just
Yes, I
from
do.
that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's the cocaine high, but on freaking steroids, right? And yeah, it's a lot cleaner, but it's I see where you're going with this line of questioning,
Right.
and that's cool,
Right.
but yeah, it's a very sexual drug.
Very
That's the
sexual.
thing. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and you don't need to be told that before you do it. That is just something that is just a trait to be discovered by the user, you know?
How many years would you say all of that was happening for you? The women, the crack, etc. How many years was that going on for you?
There were moments of it, 95 to 90, 96, 7 into 8. Took a long break from it, and then back on 10 to 14.
So you
20
took like a
2010.
12-year break.
I did, yeah.
How you pull that off?
I
all,
was-
all these cocaine addicts out here that can't shake it. You
Right.
shook it for 12 years?
Yeah.
How?
Probably those 2 marriages that I talked
right,
about.
that's
yeah,
right.
Yeah, and suddenly all those children running around.
No, that's right.
Yeah, can't be
right.
smoking crack with a bunch of kids running
No,
around,
you
right?
can't.
I mean,
you can't do that. But
what are we doing?
But some would argue marriage would make them go to it, then run away from it. So some would say that about marriage. Maybe not about the kids, but they'll say it about marriage. Okay,
you make another great point.
there we go.
Yeah.
So you were able to shake it for 12 years. How do you get back? How do you go back to it after shaking it for 12 years? Was that when you got taken off the show? Was that when you went back to it, or was it
No,
before?
It was like right before. I'm never like a guy who places blame, but I do like to tell stories with the facts intact.
Okay.
And it's actually talked about in my book, so I'm not going completely out of school
Sure.
here.
Because we want you to read the book. We want you to read the book. We ain't gonna tell everything. I understand that, but go
yeah,
ahead.
and even if they've seen the doc, I think there's still things
There's
undiscovered.
always more in the book. I can attest to that.
Thank you.
I can attest to that. New
Thank
York
you.
Times bestseller with the same publisher as you.
How about
I can attest to it.
How about it?
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, it was my third wife, Brooke. And she, I was trying to stay on the straight and narrow, and she had some, addiction issues of her own that were pretty commonly documented, and she brought it back into the house,
Wow.
and yeah, I think I talk about this in the doc where she had a friend of hers and they were locked in the bathroom and I could hear the sounds of somebody snorting cocaine. But again, it's like, oh, this wasn't done to me. I'm always gonna
Own it.
yeah, I'm gonna own my role in whatever it is.
Right.
And so I opened the door and I said, this is an outrage. And they thought I was talking about the fact that drugs had been brought back into the house. And I said, you're wasting all of that good cocaine. I said, if you're gonna do this here, then we're gonna do it properly. Let's cook that shit up.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was like that.
And they said, yeah, let's do it.
They did indeed, yes, and we did. Yes.
And it was even better than what they were doing. Had a better and greater impact than what they had.
I mean, that was the goal. Yeah.
So,
But it still all comes down to choices.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I hear that in the bathroom. I still have a choice to say, this is unacceptable. Let's, this party ends tonight.
I can't help bringing up Martin Sheen, your dad,
Sure.
a phenomenal actor. West Wing, y'all, check it out. I mean, spectacular.
Yeah.
Your older brother, Emilio Estevez, as well. kind of effect did it have on them?
Like the whole
The fall,
oh the
everything,
fall the
everything
fall.
that you were enduring, what watching you or knowing that you were going through a lot of this. What was that like for them,
Um,
in your estimation?
in my estimation, combined with what they've expressed to me,
Sure.
over these past years, yeah, it was really difficult and frustrating, because neither of them felt like they could really get to me.
Mm,
That I had kind of set up the barriers in such a way that that I'm not going to say they were impenetrable, but yeah, I was not easily accessed by those who weren't invited to whatever party
mhm,
was taking place.
right.
But I do have a line in the doc where I talk about I can't imagine being my dad.
Mm.
I think that sums up a lot of it.
Because
Just because of the stuff I did that he had to endure,
mm,
and the length of time that it went on,
mm,
because they intervened on me. The story's in the doc, and I think told in greater detail in the book about Dad's 50th,
mhm,
that I thought I was going for a birthday party and I walked into an intervention.
right.
And it was like, whoa. Like
He tried to help you, he tried to save you.
yeah. And they did. I mean, it did. I was like, sure, let's give this a shot.
Mm.
You know?
Most people would be very, very salty at a loved one, particularly a parent that put them in that position at that particular moment in time as they was going through that. That
Sure.
was necessarily the case with you. Why not?
Not that time.
Right.
That time, it still felt like it made perfect sense, and I got it, and I surrendered to it, and gave it a decent try. It was the many years later, when I had like the closest I've ever come to overdosing.
Mhm.
Wound up in the hospital, and he showed up, and you probably saw this, and
Yes.
he called a press conference, and just brought the world's focus to that place, and yeah, that was because that then turned into, and there's a really there's an exciting section of the book that spans 6 chapters that's called "Escape from L.A."
Mhm.
And so that
It's a
that
lot to
that
escape from.
that chronicles that whole run, which is pretty.
It's a lot to escape
It's a lot
from.
to escape
As
from.
somebody that's out in LA constantly,
Yeah,
it's a lot to
it's a
escape.
lot to escape from.
It's a lot to escape from, no doubt
So
about it.
that one, because it led to U.S. Marshals and warrants and all kinds of, just cat and mouse,
Mhm.
basically going on the lam at one point, which was kind of exciting. I can't lie.
Right.
It's a box I never thought I would ever check, but it's one I'm glad I did, because I don't need to do it again. Being on the lam is a one and done.
I
That's
got you.
kind of my point.
Totally
Yeah,
understand.
yeah.
I want to bring up the name Heidi Flies to you because
Sure.
I'm just reading some stuff here.
Right.
You said you first spotted her with a group of beautiful women in June of 1992 at a club on Los Angeles' Sunset Strip. Yes, that area. Yes, I know something about this.
On the rocks.
A subsequent phone call with the madam, you agreed to 12 grand for 2 women from midnight till whenever. And when the sex workers arrived, you said it felt like 100 Christmas mornings all at once in my favorite age of childhood. What age was that? And what exactly does 100 Christmas mornings feel like?
I mean, I mean, the quote kind of explains itself, doesn't it?
It does.
I
It
think
does.
the age would be 8.
8 years old.
No,
8?
for the Christmas mornings. You said
okay.
what age?
Oh my God, I was gonna have a heart
Yeah,
attack.
yeah.
I was gonna have a heart attack right now.
No.
I said 8.
8,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. You threw me off of there for a
Sorry
second.
about
like
that.
I'm like, you getting loose at 8 years old? I mean, damn. I would have.
No, that's just an answer to the earlier part
Understood.
of that. Yeah,
All
that
right.
that age
100 Christmas mornings
from childhood.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how long was it like that for you?
You
100
mean
Christmas
those
mornings.
that
Want
feeling?
that feeling. 100 Christmas
For a
mornings.
while, that's. I mean, if that feeling hadn't stayed, connected to the experience,
Mhm.
I probably would have lost interest a lot sooner.
Mm.
But there's another metaphor I use that it felt like placing a large bet with a shady bookie. You know,
Because
just that stomach,
that's right.
that adrenal stomach thing.
And they kept feeding it. They kept
Yeah,
feeding it all day, all night, the whole bit.
sure.
So with that being said, you would think that with all that you've been through, even once it was, you were taken off of 2.5 Men, that it couldn't get any lower. And then in 2011, if I remember correctly, you were diagnosed, with HIV.
It was actually a little later.
A little later than that.
Yeah,
Right,
because
right.
I went on the Today Show with Matt Lauer.
Okay.
I think that was 2015.
2015. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. 2015. It was.
yeah.
It was. Talk about that for a second and what that was like for you when you first got that news.
It was a lot. It was a lot to just absorb. It was a lot to come to, just to accept. Because it's if you've ever if you've lived a life that involves promiscuity and a lot of different partners and whatever. There's always a lot of jokes about it. To make sure you don't wind up with that. The story about the lady who wrote the lipstick thing on the mirror, that urban tale that went around for a long time. And so, but there was also just strangely, in addition to that, in that moment was relief. Was this because when I went there, thinking with the kind of headaches, the like searing migraines that I was having, cluster headaches, and just I described the night sweats were so bad that I redefined waterbed.
Right.
And so I thought I was avoiding the hospital because I thought the news for sure would be something terminal, like like the brain or liver or stomach or something or spinal.
Right.
And when it wasn't that, when it was something that there was already a class of medicine and the technology, even in 2015, what was available, there was relief that I was, it sucked that, I wound up with I got careless or whatever and like that, but it's a hospital trip I'd be going home from.
The sex or the drugs? Why do you think it happened? The HIV diagnosis. Why do you?
The drugs.
The drugs.
The drugs that then open different doors for different types of sex and different types of partners, and I talk about it
Right.
in the doc and in the book.
How many sexual partners did you have, Charlie? I'm just asking.
I don't know.
I mean, you don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, give me an approximate number.
I don't know.
A ballpark number.
A couple thousand, maybe. Is that? I mean, is that?
A couple thousand. So it wasn't Wilt Chamberlain. It wasn't Wilt Chamberlain.
No,
20,000 women. It wasn't that.
Right, but if you do the math on Wilt's claims,
Right.
Doesn't that break down to like one gal like every 20 minutes or something?
So I think so. I mean, he was around for a long time.
If you use the time frame that he refers to that in,
yeah.
Unless
he was with 5 women at one time or something
Right.
like that, which I can't put past Charlie Sheen.
No.
I mean, that is possible.
I never made it to 5. I mean,
you never made it to 5?
Not enough room in the bedroom. Come on.
Okay.
I mean, let's be realistic
Right.
here.
How wild did you get? Was it multiple women? Was it just women? I mean, how wild did Charlie Sheen get?
It got to what I described as the other side of the menu. Just like there's that much, when you're living, occupying, in a domestic scenario with porn stars,
Right.
Because I wasn't living with them. We've
right.
established
Understood.
that, right?
Yes, we have. You were not living with them. No.
Yeah, and they're involved in stuff at their day job and coming home and talking about it, and I'm like, well, that sounds interesting. And the next thing you know, it's let's turn that fantasy into a reality, you know?
So the other side of the menu is not just women. That's what you're saying.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with that being said, when people looked at Charlie Sheen, and I just asked you the number, give you an approximate number, over 2,000 and stuff like that.
It's just a guess.
Yeah, it's
Just
a
a
guess. So it's
guess.
probably more.
Okay.
It's probably more.
But there was a thing on just on Logan Paul's show last month
Right.
where his co-host just arbitrarily said, "Yeah," and Charlie Sheen, it was with 47,000 women, and then that's the headline that went out.
Wow.
And I didn't even say it. You know what I mean? So at least the one they attribute to me, at least will sound maybe somewhat realistic, right? A little bit.
Totally.
Okay.
As you reflect on all of this,
Excuse me.
reflect for a second on what made you happy. This book, this document's 2-part documentary, as you tell your story
Right.
and you reflect on your experiences, what do you smile about? What do you look at and say, damn, that made me happy?
In these past 8 years, is that what you're talking about, or just from?
Period. I'm talking about as you reflect on all
All
these
of it.
experiences.
All of it.
Or as
God.
you look back, particularly because you're telling your story,
Right.
both on Netflix and in this wonderful book, The
Thank
Book
you.
of Sheen.
Thank you.
I want to know, because somewhere along the way, I can't imagine if that everything was miserable about it, you would have written this book.
Correct.
So what is it about your life that you reflect on and it's something that makes you smile, makes you happy?
Well, I mean, just first and foremost, literally still be alive. So many do not survive, even at a percentage of what I did to myself. No, but I see what you're getting at.
Right.
Just as kind of the marquee heading, I feel it's the smaller stuff. It's never the big whoops or the big jobs or the big salary or the big any. It was just the quieter moments between all of that glitz and glam. I'd be driving in a car and a song would come on the radio and take me back to a place that was just free and innocent and unencumbered.
One of the negative sides was the word extortion was brought up because you said that other side invited that into your life.
Of course it did.
How so?
Of course it did.
How
Just
so?
people taking advantage. Me being responsible and saying, "Hey, we're going to be intimate, and I got this fucking thing," as I'm sure you now know about, and they're like, "Yeah, no, hey, cool, thanks for being honest." And then, some of those they're already getting paid, and then they want to get paid again.
So they knew you had HIV. They sit up there and then engage in sexual activity with you anyway, and then try to extort you, and basically that's it. That's what it was.
Yeah, well, it was before. Actually, it was before the Lauer thing.
Okay.
So I would confide, and then think that I obviously I've been responsible.
Yes.
That way, right? And that they then had a choice to engage or not. And willingly then would do so, but then photograph my meds while I was asleep, and then make outrageous claims that they were kept in the dark about it, and if I don't pay this certain amount, then they're gonna reveal my big secret.
Low point for you is what? And I ask that question respectfully because I'm thinking about the wives, I'm thinking about the mothers of your children. I'm thinking about your brother. I'm thinking about your father. There's a lot of people.
Brothers, actually.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that you love.
And a sister. Sorry.
Okay, your
Yeah,
sister.
yeah,
Okay, I'm sorry.
yeah.
I didn't leave that. I gotta leave out the sister. I apologize.
That's
for
all
that.
right.
I apologize for that. But
She'll be watching this and be like, dude.
that's right. That's
yeah,
right. That's
what
what
the
sisters
hell,
do.
man?
That's what sisters do. When you think about all of those people you love and obviously love you, is there any one of them that stands out in terms of how you and your ordeals affected them more so than anybody else?
I mean, I should say my children, but I need to say my mom. You know, it's just a different with moms.
Yeah.
It's always different, and
Yeah.
it's just for them. You know, for my mom, yeah, it was the stuff that was breaking her heart the hardest. But you know, repairing that. She has talked about has restored every piece of whatever might have been damaged, you know. But it's yeah, it comes down to forgiveness, you know, myself and then from others, which is a process. But as far as yeah, it was family, but her, you know, more so.
Is there something you believe you should be forgiven for, or I shouldn't say should be forgiven, but when you think about the word forgiveness, is there something that stands out in your mind more so than anything else when you think about that word? Because whether it was pain to yourself, your children, your mom, or anything like that, that word forgiveness, obviously, when people are in your life and they hug you and they love you and they let you know they're still there for you.
Sure.
And they're gonna be there no matter what you've been through, we're still here. It's gonna be all right. Was that your mom? Was that the person that did that for you?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my family as well, but you know, but with her, yeah, for sure.
Did
yeah.
you ever contemplate suicide or things of that nature?
You know, I never did. I never did. I was just never a guy that was like, oh, geez, it's gone, it's gotten so bad. You know, I never know I'd be feeling like this, and there's only one way out. It was just never, was never an option. Which I think is really good news.
Yeah.
Because I think that's part of the reason I'm still alive, because there was always a
Temptation to give up?
well, but also there was a will to live and a grit to just keep plowing forward, regardless.
Have you ever reached back out to the folks on 2.5 Men to talk to them, to apologize to them for whatever you felt it was that you did?
Oh, I have, absolutely. Yeah, first and foremost was Chuck Lorre.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we buried the hatchet. Gosh, going on 3 years now. He was producing another show for HBO called Bookie, and asked me to come in and do a cameo as myself.
Wow.
And no, we had an amazing phone call, and then I came to a table read that went, I guess, really well, and it felt like the good old days, you know. And then we got on the set together and did some great, I think, work together again. But it was, you know, we were back in a high stakes creative environment together and thriving. I mean, it doesn't mean that I wasn't still writing stories about everything he must have been thinking during our reunion. But then I come to find out that none of that stuff was true.
Right.
Because that is a guy who is mission focused. You know, he's when he's involved in his projects, that is all he's thinking about. I'm not saying it's all he cares about, it's all he's thinking about.
What are you thinking about right now as you move forward with your life, with this docuseries, with this book, both out, telling your story, but telling so many vivid details about your life and what you've endured? What about you?
I think I've become unextortable. So, and not by design, just as an off-label benefit, right?
Right.
I feel terrific about I'm not carrying stuff around
Mhm.
for fear of being anything exposed or found out or
Mhm.
um, I it's it's a time for me to embrace what I'm referring to as a reset,
Mhm.
to kind of just reset everything and let people know that there's more to the guy that they may only know as, the jingle writer in a bowling shirt or the
Mhm.
dude screaming winning,
Mhm.
and also that, yeah, was that a crazy time? Sure. Did I look like I had gone mad? Absolutely. But it was temporary,
Mhm.
and it was specific to the conditions of all the things that were in play.
Does Hollywood treat it like it was temporary, or
There, there,
do you have a lot of people still holding on
there's
to that Charlie Sheen and, dare I say, holding it against you?
Hollywood is starting to treat it like it was temporary
Mm.
because now they have a different algorithm
Right.
about me.
Well, you've talked about it and
Yeah,
you've put
yeah.
yourself on front, and I think that we live in a land of second chances, and I think a lot of people, when you are vulnerable and you're willing to reveal and display those vulnerabilities, I think compassion kicks in with most Americans, and they're willing to do that.
I think so. I think so, and I'm really grateful for that. And I think it also helps the longevity
Mm.
factor. That I have the 40-year plus
Yeah.
in the business, and there's been a relationship with the fans that has spanned multi generations.
Mhm.
And
You've
and
made us laugh a hell of a lot more than you've made us cry.
Thank you, thank you.
You've done that.
So I think that has really fueled the response and the just the excitement people are showing genuinely
Mhm.
for me to come back into the fold and deliver the things that they grew fond of
As wild
back
as
when,
as wild as you have been, as much fun as you have been, this book is obviously very serious. And I think that when you're telling the story, just sitting here and talking to you, and thank you so much for all the time that you've given me. I really
Please,
appreciate it.
please.
As we sit here talking about this book, I get the impression that it's, even though you're telling your story, you don't want it to be just about you. You almost want it as a warning to, whether it's LA, it's Hollywood, it's that Hollywood life, about the kind of things that you might need to watch out for so you can avoid going through all I've gone through before you find your way. Am I wrong in assuming
You're
that?
not wrong at all. No,
Mm.
if it touches even just one person who does derive that from that experience, that shared
Mhm.
experience, if that is what someone comes away with, like,
Mhm.
oh wow, okay, it can really go that far. It can fly that far and that dramatically off the rails, then absolutely. I,
And
I think it's a great thing.
crystallize how that is. Is it, folks, because we live in the age, social media, YouTube, everybody's clamoring for clicks, notoriety,
Sure,
recognition, etc. Things you have in
sure.
abundance. Everybody knows who Charlie Sheen is. Forget what you've endured for a second. Your resume speaks for itself.
Thank you.
People can only hope to capture a speck and achieve a speck of what you have achieved in your lifetime, particularly if you're an aspiring actor, actress, whatever the case may be. I mean, anybody would want what you have achieved if you aspire to be in that business.
Thank you.
So I'm looking at it from the standpoint that, what are those minefields that need to be avoided? What are those pitfalls? If anybody can crystallize it and vividly provide a warning sign for anybody, it would be you. What would those signs be? What would those minefields look like?
To entertainment
Yes,
specifically,
yes, sir.
um, it's people, people, people in positions that are, for better or worse, essential to progressing through. the business to the folks that there's just a there's an unavoidable aspect to that. And I'm not saying that's like all of it's evil and weird, but there's deals with certain devils that you have to cut. And I don't know, just try to make.
What kind of deals?
I'm just saying that people that are more vested in their interests over yours. Folks that are going to be, put profit over, the human experience. I don't know how to explain it. Profit over the talent. Just trying to. I don't know, but I think it's also about just if you start, being either pulled towards or sliding towards areas that are, dangerous or dubious or slippery or whatever. This will sound totally cliche, but ask for help.
Yeah.
Raise your hand. If you don't know, if you're curious about something, ask a question.
Right.
Or if you think that when things feel hinky or off, they usually are.
Right.
And there's that thing, when people show you who they are,
Believe them.
believe them.
'em.
Yeah.
How long have you been sober?
Coming up on 8 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Right.
It's pretty good.
And I'm not just talking about alcohol. I'm talking about drug-free, alcohol, everything.
Sure. Yeah.
8 years?
8 years. Yeah.
8 years. So you haven't done anything in 8 years.
No.
How's that been?
It's been pretty good.
It's been pretty good.
Yeah.
It's been pretty good.
No, I had a plan and have a plan and just have stuck to it.
Now, once upon a time, you went away from everything for 12 years.
Right.
And if for some reason you went back,
right.
This is it. You ain't going back, right?
There's nothing left.
There's nothing left.
What is left? What is left? What would be left to experience? Yeah. I think I've not just for myself, but I think I've done the kind of research that could benefit mankind.
What could possibly...
I'm kind of joking with that.
I know. I get you. I got you.
Yeah.
What could possibly excite you about life right now after all that you've been through?
This moment that we're in, the drive over here, this morning's coffee machine functioning properly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just things that again will sound cliche, but just finding the extraordinary in the ordinary. And I take great pride and great joy in being consistent and reliable. That I can be consistent without being predictable. And that's to the benefit of my kids. That I'm going to be that first phone call.
Last question for you.
Sure.
The Book of Sheen. What do you want people walking away feeling about this book and about you after they read this book?
I describe the theme of the book as it's about a little kid just trying to get home. And I hope what they come away, and you can't predict how people are going to respond to something or what they're going to take from the experience, but if I would hope that they, I don't know, can find their way home too, and also have a great time reading a book, because reading's kind of become a thing of the past, and that the book is funny. The book is it's kind of like stepping into a movie.
Wow.
And they say right to what you know, and I know a little bit about movies,
There you go. Yes, you do.
So they won't be bored with this literary experience.
Well, I wasn't bored with it, and I certainly wasn't bored sitting here talking to you. It's an honor and a
Oh,
privilege to
likewise.
be sitting here talking with you, my man.
Likewise.
You're
Thank
one of
you.
the greatest.
Thank
One of
you.
the greatest. It was
Likewise.
It was great to have you in here.
Thank you.
That's it for this special edition with your boy Stephen A. Smith, talking to the one and only Charlie Sheen, who's on my bucket list. It just happened. Go read this book, The Book of Sheen. Make sure you watch, AKA Charlie Sheen, now streaming on Netflix. Everything is interesting when it comes to this man right here. It's
My
good to
man.
see you, man.
Likewise.
It's
Thank
good
you.
to see you.
Thank you.
Until next time, everybody. Peace and love. Stephen A. signing off.